There we are. Okay, so I'm going to do the bottom. So I need to make a dark colour. And the colours I was using, well, I can get a dark colour out of burnt sienna was one of them, wasn't it? And ultramarine was the other. But I wanted to be a browny dark, so I put in more ultramarine than blue. It's about as dark as the trunks anyway. So, I start where you can see what you're doing. There's a tree here. There's a tree here, and the fence is attached to it. If I start there, I'll know where I am. Go for the known to the unknown. That's what they say, isn't it? So I'm coming this way with the fence, and the fence is about that far up. There's a very thin tree trunk there, so I'll leave a space for it. I think I'll come too far along with this, but there we are. It's not dark enough either. And then there's a bit of green there. And then we come to this fence, which is nearer, and it has posts. I'm not making too much of the posts. I'll take them down with a bit of colour. I'm ignoring the house. It's there, but I'm not. Now I want to make a bit of green out of that, so I think that's raw sienna. I think that's raw sienna too. Come on, wet yourself up. If I add a bit of the blue to that. Well, it's gone way over the top, that's not green. So I'll add a bit more yellow with that. Okay, there's something dirtying that, so I'll try again with the blue. That's better. Right, so that's a bit of a green there. So we've got a bit of green here. And it comes largely down here too. Right. Now, there is underneath there a heap of grass with a lot of colours on it that you can pick up from round and about here. So if I add a bit more yellow to that. I'm not going to get the bright green that's on the picture, but I'll get a green that matches what I've got there. and it comes across the bottom here. This is a very rough paper, so I'm getting a lot of dry brushwork on it. And then of course it comes down here as well. We don't need to put in the curve of the curb. We can do what we want with that. Which red did I use? Permanent Rose, I think. Which is that. Did I use Permanent Rose or Permanent Rose? That's that one. So if I add a bit of yellow to that, I'll get a sort of orangey colour, and I can put in that fall of the leaf. I'll give this one, it hasn't got any in the picture, but I'm going to give it some. Looks lonely there without a few leaves stuck on it. And I can pick up the rose and put that in as well. So I'm beginning to get a sort of effect of the right, now there's a bit of entertainment around here. There's actually a roof of a little hut. Take some moisture out of that. A bit of luck, I might get a darker thing. So it's and if it bleeds into the bit underneath, I'm not too worried about it. Now, the little white edge there, if you approach a thin white line from either side, you can keep your thin white line. So that you're in fact reserving the white. We've got a window there which I have basically gone round instead of, and then there's this area here. So we've got that little hut shape there. That's a window, not a door. And I'm letting it bleed into the bottom. Then we've got a bush. And up in that bit there, there's a bit of this just fill in the spaces, pretty colour there. What's over there? There's a huge bush. I am right now getting very frustrated about the green I can get, but I made the rules for you, so I'm going to have to stick to them, aren't I?
Yes, you are.
Right. Right, and then there is in fact a house there, so I'll just fill in with some of that sort of colour to suggest the bit of the house. So it more or less got its base in it. And I can now look at the rest of the tree and see if I can make more. What I need to do is actually make darker colours.
So is it ultramarine?
This is ultramarine.
With?
And I'm mixing it with raw sienna, because those were the colours I said I would use. I think it goes there. So if I want that to be darker. I need, that's quite a nice dark colour. Now, if I bring the weight on the underside of the masses of branches, they'll start to make sense. So down here, and if I whisk the brush across, I get broken surface, which is what you want, you know, you want it to look a little bit broken. This works smashing with a rough paper, which is what this is. This is dry brushwork in effect, what I'm attempting. And then there's another bit up here. I'm in serious trouble getting dark paint. I don't know what's the matter with me. I'll have to do better than this when I go to Hazel's course.
Is it? You don't know which to add the most of? Is that it?
No, I'm just not. It just seems to be a lot of water in the brush. That's better.
When do you go to Hazel's then?
May. I've got time to practice. So you see, if you just touch the surface of the paint, of the paper, with the brush, and the brush is practically out of water, it gives you that sort of hit and miss sort of effect, right? Which suggests leaves sparkling a little bit. Without trying to put in every blessed last leaf, you know. Because when you, this is what throws people about trees. You know, all those leaves. How on earth do I get all those leaves in? And it's.
Are you painting in water and winter? Painting in autumn and winter.
Well, this works equally well in the spring. If you can do this against a pale blue sky and you know, put in your darker greens or even the rosy tints that you get at the top of trees in the spring.
The trees are lovely at the moment, aren't they?
They are incredible. And these trees here are just on the estate where I live, and they change every time I go. They're different. You know, I go past and think, oh, I didn't get that shot. Oh, I didn't get that shot. So.
I used to do it myself, I think we used to go to the New Forest.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it left a bit further on. Yeah. But and the estuary as well. You know, it's beautiful.
This question of enough dark really is a balance between the amount of pigment and the amount of water, and the trying to get enough paint of the right depth of colour and not get too much slosh in it because of too much water is quite an exercise. Right, no. Sorry, fella. Right, I need some orange now, so I need some of this clean. Because I tend to go straight from the blue into the yellow, you know, when I'm getting excited. So I want an orange, I don't want blue with it. And a bit of the red. Come on, a bit more yellow. Right, so I've put some orange on, and I'm going to, again, whisk in some of the orange. And if it goes over the green, that's fine. If it goes over the red, that's fine. It's adding different tones, add depth to what it is you're trying to create. So if you whisk some of this, the darker paint will take on a different hue as it goes over the green, or as it goes over the orange, or it goes over the red. So you get 92 colours in your picture with 3 brushstrokes. At least that's what I'm told. Yes, it's my go-to. Yeah. Because it has a point. It has a point. It has a point. Right, so I'm going to pick up some of the permanent rose now, just neat, and see what I can add a bit of brightness where I perceive it. That's much more satisfactory, that is. That's better. I seem to be ignoring this over here, don't I? Well, we'll worry about that in a minute. And then there's quite a lot. Now, I do want it darker. I want a bit of blue in that. So, but I don't want it to go purple. Because here, I better do something over here. Part of the problem is the picture is rolling up and I can't see it. There we are. There is, in fact, quite a lot of branches up here, as well as need a bit more orangey colour there. Come on, you. Pick. There we are. So there is quite a bit of orange here. And a bit of the dark green. And then I've got to make some really thick darks to put in some branches. So I have the blue. Twiddle, twiddle, twiddle in the blue. And then you can always clean your paints up afterwards, you know. Now I want it to right. So the branches are coming this way. Right. This is a rigger, which should give me finer lines. This. Need to put them where you think they will make sense. And those suggest a tree over here. So this mass belongs to this tree, and this mass belongs to this tree. And where I've got the dark in, where's my big brush? That wasn't me. Right. Don't just put the trunk in, just let the dark become part of the canopy as much as anything, if you can manage it. This is actually 2 trees. Right, now I think also while I've still got it, I'm going to just wet the fence a bit. A bit is too much. That's a puddle there. Right, okay, well, it's all right, because I'm growing the dark up the fence a little bit. I think the fence is a lot darker than if I can get it really dark, that would be better. This is that cardi paper that Hazel Sohn talks about a lot.
What's that?
Cardi, C-A-D-H-I-A or something like that. And she talks about it a lot and enthuses about it. It's a handmade paper.
Oh, I see. Expensive, I bet.
Yeah, and I bought some from Jackson's and didn't like it. And it was only when I started this I realised I've been using the wrong side.
Oh dear, so you can only use one side.
Well, you have to be aware.
Yeah.
I'm making the fence darker because I want the weight down there.
Yeah. I thought I'd done mine too dark.
Yeah. Watercolour being what watercolour is, I don't think you can do it too dark, really. Because it tends to if I play on with it anymore. So it's not the photograph, but it's autumn trees. And you had last week I did wet in wet, and this week I did wet on dry. And again, the two different techniques can put together very nicely. The thing about wet on dry is it has to be dry underneath before you put it, otherwise it doesn't work. But that's
it is lovely.
Makes a reasonable effort.
It's not, I like it because it's not too defined as well.
Right, well, if you're doing trees, you don't want them.
No.
Really,
But the colours are lovely as well.
Again, an exaggeration
Yeah.
of what is there.
Yeah.
And that, of course, that's a photograph, which dulls the colours anyway.
Mm.
They are very vivid, but if you can live with them, it just makes the picture more lively. So, another lesson, don't try and match your picture.
No.
Don't try and match the colours in the picture. If you've cut down on the number of colours you're using, and somebody's wearing a turquoise jumper and you haven't used Prussian blue in your mix, just make it blue.
Yeah.
And blue doesn't matter, nobody's going to know. Unless it's the focus of your picture, and that's what the picture's all about, then you can introduce that as a sort of extraneous colour with the rest of the picture made in other colours. Okay, that's it.
Wow, I like the tree trunk. How did you manage that? You know, it's dark and light, isn't it?
Well, last week when I put it on, it was dark. It dried lighter.
Yeah.
So when I got the really dark paint, I just put the extra on.
Yeah, I like that.
And it does work. But the thing to do when you put it in, do make it grow into the bottom of the tree. Don't put a dark mark down the side and then stop. Where it changes from brown to green. Oh dear. Just take the brown in as part of the green. Okay.